welcome everyone to the very first episode of the Time Ladies United podcast. We're a group of fangirls that are going to be getting together twice a month to talk about our favorite Time Lord and the Doctor Who universe. Joining me tonight is the one and only Neo. How you doing, Neo?
I'm doing awesome.
Great. And the lovely Danette. How you doing, Danette?
I'm good.
Okay, thanks for joining me. Okay, basically, what I wanted to talk about for our very first show, while it's still fresh in our minds, is Season 8 and the very first TARDIS run of Peter Capaldi as Doctor. Basically, we had a lot going on in Season 8. We had the return of the clockwork droids. We had the Doctor doing something that we thought he'd never, ever do, ever, and that is attempt to save a Dalek. We had him competing against the gorgeous Robin Hood. We even had him going head-to-head against a mummy on the Orient Express in 66 seconds. And then last but not least was discovering that his longtime foe, the Master, is now a Missy. So there's a lot going on. I wanted to know what everyone's thoughts were. I mean, what did you think of Season 8? Did you love it? Did you hate it? Do you have an opinion of it yet? Are you going to wait until you watch it over again when you could afford to get the DVDs? Did you have a favorite episode? Also, what did you think as Peter Capaldi? How do you think he's doing, and what are you looking forward to in Season 9, which I believe started recording this week, I believe. So let's start off with Danette. What did you think?
For the most part, I love Season 8. I thought it was a strong season compared to at least the previous one. Peter Capaldi is doing excellent. I was so excited when he was named the Doctor, but I thought he's doing great. For the most part, it was really good. My favorite episode was Flatline. I thought it was a good episode. Listen was a good episode too. I thought it was good.
Did you have
good.
Oh, sorry to interrupt, but did you have an episode that you weren't crazy about, or pretty content?
In the Forest of the Night, I think that was the name of the episode. I didn't think it was that great, but other than that, I thought they were pretty good episodes overall.
And what did you think of Capaldi? Do you are you think he's an excellent Doctor? I mean, do you still think he has some development to go before you make an opinion, or doesn't it really matter?
I think for the most part, he's doing a really good job. I mean, he's definitely, bringing it. You could try to compare him to others, but it's like comparing apples and oranges. They're all going to bring something to the table, and I think he's doing a really good job at it.
Okay, cool. Thanks a lot. Okay, Neo, what did you think about Season 8?
Season 8. It's a pretty good season, pretty good start for Capaldi. I actually didn't pay attention. I did watch Deep Breath, but I considered Deep Breath, I didn't consider Deep Breath to be anything. I considered Dalek to be the one. I mean, the second episode when you go inside the Dalek and everything. I considered that to be the episode where he really shined, where you can really say, okay, he's the Doctor now. He doesn't have that regeneration sickness like they usually have. So Capaldi's doing great. I love Capaldi. Every time I see him on screen, I want to squeal like a crazy girl. And whenever I can get the DVDs, oh God, I don't want to spend that much money on them. But yeah, he's doing good. I don't have a specific I do have specific episodes that I like and that I dislike. It's like in Listen, I like the first 10 minutes when he's by himself. I think it's first 5 or 10 minutes where he's by himself. That part was awesome. Mummy on the Oriental Express was good. I was angry at Clara. I killed the moon, but I still liked it in a sense. That one about the one before, was it Darkwater and Death in Heaven? That episode, it was okay. Now that I think about it, but he did a good run, and Capaldi's had a good run, and was it Jenna Coleman? I really don't pay attention to the companions anymore like I used to in the classics, but she's okay with him for now.
And Neil, did you was there anything about season 8 that you totally didn't like, that you would have loved for them not to even go there?
The death of Danny Pink? I hate Danny Pink. The only reason I hate him because no character development. Other than that, everything else was fine. If they'd have made me care more about Danny Pink, yes. But other than that, I hate Danny Pink. Or am I supposed to say hate? Dislike.
That's a really good point. Danette, do you like Danny Pink, or, did you hate him, like him?
I completely agree with Neo. I think if he had more character development, it probably would have been good. But just to throw him in there, and then there was the montage with him, and Clara, but you really didn't get the sense that they were together until the very end. So it's okay, they're together. Okay. And then you're like, wait a minute. What happened there? It's just kind of they just made it too quick, I think. I think they should have maybe focused a little more on it through the season, but
yeah, that's a real good point. I too wasn't really crazy about Danny Pink. It's almost like he immediately disliked the Doctor, prejudged him. I mean, you could argue that the Doctor prejudged Danny Pink too, but it was just Danny was just so rude and abrupt with him. And, every time you saw him, it was almost like he was whiny. Oh, I had a bad day. Oh, I had a bad day. It's well, what kind of day did you have? I mean, maybe if they had some flashbacks or something like that, I agree. With both of you, where you didn't get a sense where you never had a chance to really care about him. He was just there. He was kind of like the side story. And it would have been nice if they dragged it off a little bit, maybe didn't kill him off and developed his story more in season 9, or maybe go a little bit slower where he wasn't in it as much, so that way you can eventually get to care for him. I was actually happy when he died, and I thought it was a perfect way that Danny Pink died, because it was an ordinary way. It's a way that you hear about on the TV with any normal person, where, some person, guy, girl, wasn't paying attention, talking on the cell phone, walked out in front of a car. So I actually enjoyed the way he initially died. The whole thing of that whole nethersphere thing, that's up in the air with me. But, overall, I really enjoyed, season 8. It was nice to have 13 episodes in a row without a break. Unlike like season 7 and stuff where we had such a long gap. I love Capaldi. I found it easy for me to move on with the 11th Doctor, because Capaldi was so different. Not just with his looks, but just with his acting. I really like that brash, sarcastic, like in your face mentality where you pretty much know what he's going to say before he's going to say it, and when he does have those one-liners, it was like you're like cheering and yelling at the TV like, yeah, that was cool. So I'm really loving Capaldi, and I hope the writers don't mess it up and they let him continue being the Doctor that he is. There really wasn't I really didn't hate any episodes, but the one that I disliked the most was probably Time Heist. I did like the monster alien. I mean, that was really cool and original, but there was just something about the storyline that I wasn't crazy about. And my favorite episode, and I've watched it about 4 or 5 times already, is Flatline. That episode had everything to it. It had the fear factor, it had some comedy, it had drama. I mean, that was just a well-rounded, perfect, episode. And you actually got to see Jenna Louise Coleman act, which I really don't think we got to see much of during season 7, but season 8, we've definitely got to see her act. And we know that we now know that she's a good actress, and I'm not upset that she's continuing on into season 9. So, I was really happy with it. So, another question I'm going to throw at you guys. Since season 9, I guess, started doing the filming this week, is there an alien or some kind of plot twist, dealing with the Master or Missy or whatever, or an alien you would like to see come back in season 9? We'll start off this time with Neo.
Which alien would I like to see? Well, I already did the Zygons for the 50th, so that was my first pick. I'm kind of tired of the Cybermen. I really am tired of the Cybermen. Tired of the Cybermen, I'm tired of the Daleks, but I know one of the two are going to come back next season. Oh, boy, I don't even remember. What are they called? They were with John Pertwee and Katie Manning. I think the Claws of Axos. I think it was the Axons or something. It was these weird looking creatures with these weird eyeballs and everything, and he was wearing these it looked like they were sprayed lycra suits with gold and weird freaky hair. I would love to see them come back. I know it won't happen because it's Moffat, but I can dream. Anybody else I want to see come back? The Crotons. Anyways, no. None of those will happen. We'll probably get more Cybermen and Daleks and maybe a little Missy cameo. But if Missy does come back, I want her to kiss the Doctor again. I like the way he looked when that happened.
Okay, what do you think, Danette?
Let's see. I would like maybe bring back the Yeti. I think the Yeti would be a good idea. Let's see. The one that I would like to see, but I doubt if that would happen, would be Sutek. Bring him back. The Tom Baker. I would like to see him come back too. I think that'd be good.
Yeah, Neo, I totally agree with you. When Missy comes back, she has to kiss the doctor again because not only is it comical, but, I mean, that is awesome. There's just something about that scene was like priceless. I am a huge, huge Silurian fan. I just love like the whole idea of humans not being, the first dominant like species, like intellectual species, on the planet. And in a lot of ways, the Silurians were actually better than human beings. They had the technology, they learned to, respect and live off the land, but they also had, medicines and, like a cleaner, better power source and stuff like that instead of just taking, I would like that explored, a little bit further, like maybe having like new clans, or civilizations that like are popping up. I also wouldn't mind seeing, the Autons again, because I actually like the idea of the whole like plastic thing. I mean, when Pertwee first, you know, when Pertwee had his like regeneration episode, Spearhead in Space, it was the Autons. When what's his name? Eccleston came back, it was the Autons. So I wouldn't mind them coming back again. I think that would be pretty cool. Danette, I know you said you have to go. Do you want to say any last words or like last comments or anything like that?
Well, I'm just excited for season 9. I know it's starting to film now, and I know season 8 was really, really fun. I'm just lucky. I'm just glad that we got to not have it split up so much this season. And I'm glad we don't have for season 9 either. It looks like. So I'm excited to see what they do for season 9. But season 8 was really, really good.
It's cool. Well, thanks for joining me, and I'll talk to you later.
All right, I'm sorry. I'll see y'all later.
Okay. No problem. So, Neo, I read an article earlier today. It had something to do with the National TV Awards, and Peter Capaldi was not shortlisted for being nominated for an award. And according to this article, I guess this is like the first time that the actor playing Doctor Who was not nominated or shortlisted since 2005. Do you think he kind of got like kicked in the butt there, or do you agree with that?
I think they're trying to get used to him being the Doctor, honestly. I think that's what that is. There's not enough fandom for Capaldi right now. If it was Matt Smith, boom, he'd be on there in a heartbeat. If it was David Tennant, of course David Tennant would be on there. But, not right now. I say we'd wait maybe to the end of season 9 so they can get used to Peter Capaldi.
Yeah, because I think what's happening is people are almost like watching the show for the first time because, even though Tennant and Smith were different, in some ways they were similar. And here you got, Peter Capaldi that's so different from the other ones, from like the last, like what, like 3, 4, like 5, 6 years, something like that, where we've been so used to like the way the Doctor has always acted. And then all of a sudden here you got this, like, he is an older actor, nothing wrong with that. He's bringing his experience, but then the way he's portraying it, it's like, I've heard this term thrown around before, he's much more alien, so, if if like Moffat or whoever the writers are actually starts writing like sound good episodes, because this season 8 had some really cool episodes. If they continue to do that, I think Capaldi is, going to be one of the best, doctors we've had.
He kind of reminds me of Colin Baker's Doctor in a sense, where when he first got on the scene, he was like all mean and not mean, but a little more alien than human. And
Right.
But as time went by, he started to mellow out. I think that's what's going to happen in season 9. He's going to start to mellow out. Hopefully not too much, but just enough.
Yeah, because I think having his having that dynamic and those one-liners and that sarcasm really works.
Yeah.
So hopefully they won't do away with that.
They should do away with some of their puns, but hey.
Yeah. Okay, here's another question for you. Do you think the TARDIS should stay the same, or do you think it should get another facelift?
I know Moffat will never do this, but I would love to see the TARDIS of the Third Doctor return. I want to see those little circles. I want it classic. I want it more classical. It does look more classical with a more of a current, like, now upgrade, but I mean, he has that place where you can sit down in there, kind of like the Seventh Doctor, but I would love it to be more like Joan Pertwee's TARDIS.
I actually wouldn't mind seeing like a combination of it. I mean, having the circles, but instead of them being white, maybe them being like a little bit darker.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like a combination of like the modern, TARDIS and like the Eighth Doctor, Paul McGann. Because his TARDIS was kind of cool. It had that kind of like, like old-fashioned feel to it. So if they did like a combination of it, and I also think they should do away with the round spinny thing. Maybe go back to like the TARDIS going like up and down type of thing. I don't know. I mean, when I first saw it with it spinning around, I thought it was cool, but I don't know. I think it's a little out of place. So, I mean, we'll see. It'll be interesting if they do a facelift with it.
Yeah, I hope so. Or just change something small.
Yeah. And finally, the last question I'm going to pose is Jenna Louise Coleman and Clara. Do you want to see her continue in season 9?
Like I say, I really don't pay attention to any of the current companions too much. Not anymore. Except Rose Tyler, because, well, she was with my first Dr. Christopher Eccleston. But because of Amy and Rory and that whole triangle mess with the 11th Doctor, I really don't pay attention to their companions anymore. But I noticed that the Doctor needs somebody to be with him. And hopefully she won't be that controlling little control freak like she was in season 8.
Right.
So let's just hope she stays with them all of season 9 and not halfway through. That's all I can say about that.
Yeah, I mean, I was all ready for Clara to leave. I wanted her to leave at the, like at the end of, like at the end of season 7, really. Because I just didn't like her, and I started liking her a little bit more as season 8 progressed. I was really surprised that she didn't leave during the Christmas special, because I really thought I was roped into the hype saying that this was her like last season. But after seeing the Christmas special and after thinking about season 8 as a whole, I really actually like the dynamic that's developing between the Doctor and the companion that we didn't see with Amy and Rory. So I actually would like her to stay through all of season 9. So we actually have like 2 full seasons of a doctor companion relationship instead of trying to muggle it with all this other stuff. So, I mean, we'll see what happens. Is there anything you would like to add?
No, I'm good.
Okay. Well, thank you very much for joining me. I'm looking forward to doing this again. Like I said, it's going to be every other week.
Okay.
And anybody out there, all of you fangirls out there that would like to join the Time Ladies United, please leave a comment. Let me know, what works for you, and we'll get you in a show. So good night, everyone. And as always, fangirls rock.